we're going to now look at the front piece that's in half scale, where we've placed our canvas, our Damet pieces, where we've drawn our welt pocket and our jet pocket with flap. So the first thing we're going to look at is the top pocket, and we're going to actually now work in full scale for this pocket because it's only small. And the pattern pieces that make it up are the pocket bag, and we can see that there, and the welt piece there, which is this piece, and then there's a piece of fusing. And for this version, that's the only 3 pieces that we need. So when the welt is made, it is folded like that, and the angle and the style of it you can decide. So just to get the initial shape, normally we would copy this directly off the pattern because it would be in real scale, but we can also use this as a recap. So we made the welt 10 centimetres long, so we'll do that again, and then we came up here, and in real scale that's between 0.5 centimetre and 1 centimetre. That's all we're doing, just to give it a slight angle, so something like that. When we did this, we came up about 2 centimetres in real scale, so we will just repeat that. So this is, in terms of pattern pieces, this is a relatively simple, easy pattern. So bring that back into shot. So I'm coming up 90 degrees and squaring again. So that's another square. Like I said, these angles can be changed, but we'll just keep this at 90 degrees. You will see that they have a bit more shape than this often. It does affect the way that you sew it. So that would be the net pattern, and that would be the fold line. So really quite simple. We would be copying this oblong off, and then we would be folding it and getting our pattern piece like that. Now the grain line for this depends on the print or the check or the stripe, but with most things we would be going for grain line going across, but this is a pocket that is quite prominent, so if you do have stripes or check, you would be matching that, so the grain line would go down. Now for this pattern piece you would only need 1, because we only tend to have the pocket on the left hand side as worn, so we would only need to cut 1 piece. Ooh, the black pen is not having a good morning. Now you will see that I've already put seam allowance onto this piece, and I've put it on here as well. Now the seam allowance of 1 centimetre apart from this edge here, and it's because the welt is sewn in a similar way to a jet. So that's the 0.5, that's the 0.5 there. You can put a centimetre there, but it's better to put 0.5 centimetre. So I think that that piece is really quite simple because it's, in effect, it's an oblong, and you would need to cut a fusing piece for it or make sure it is fused. And the pocket bag itself is really quite straightforward, but because we have that angle, the top of the pattern also needs that slight angle to it as well, and that's true of this pocket here as well. So when we look at the pattern for this, it is a piece of, it's cut on the fold. And when we copy it off, we need to have the angle running down and the angle running down on the side. So let's look at how that would look when we copy it off. So it would be this angle here and whatever depth we went for. So we went for about 10 centimetres, maybe 8, 9. So that would be the basic shape of the pocket bag. Let's just highlight that in so that we can see. And I'll just put some measurements on it. So really at the moment this is a 10 by 10 square, and then it's going to be put on the fold. So we get something like that. But when I do the second half of it, I am going to make it a centimetre longer. So this is 10 by 11 centimetres. So when I fold this up, and draw the top of the bag in so that we get the angle. So we've got a reflection of that. So both tops of the bag are at an angle. And the reason why we're making one side longer than the other is because one part of the bag has further to travel, because one side is being sewn here and the other side is being sewn behind it. So it ends up travelling 1 centimetre longer. That's quite hard to visualise when it's just said out loud. But let's look at the pattern piece now with seam allowance added on. And then it should make a bit more sense. Let's just tidy up that ugly line that's cut. So back to this pattern piece, we can see seam allowance of 0.5 and 1. And when we bring the pocket bag in, we have seam allowance of 1. But we also have seam allowance where it joins on, but it's sewn here at 0.5. So it reflects a very similar width as a very similar sewing style as this. we look at this width here, it's about 1 centimetre. So when we sew those, the gap will be 1 centimetre. There won't be a gap here because the two pieces are overlapping. So that is why we end up with 1 centimetre longer on the bottom half of the bag, so that it can travel behind that 1 centimetre. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter if you add or don't add that 1 centimetre in, because what you're doing is just halving the bag when you fold it. But if you want a particular measurement, then it's good to add that 1 centimetre in.